Okay. SciFi Surprize Series continues with Warning from Space. Oh my goodness, there's something in space and we're getting a warning from it. This is a Japanese movie from 1956. The Japanese title is Uchûjin Tôkyô ni arawaru. And I don't speak Japanese, so forgive my accent if it was horrible. And the literal translation is something along the line of, space people appear in Tokyo. And there's really, so this is around 56, so this is after Godzilla, so there's definitely monster movie-ness. It's not really a monster movie, actually. It's definitely a science fiction film. So yay for that. SciFi Surprize Series, you know, I'm always checking whether or not they're actually science fiction movies, and it is, so awesome. But there's this sort of like horror, you know, regular people, what's going to happen, what are we going to do, yada yada yada. There's sort of that element of it. But there's also this whole other element of it that's all more science-y, and I think there's a doctor, and it's just kind of weird. Like, there was definitely sort of the sort of regular folk response and then the sort of scientific community response, but sometimes they overlapped, and I didn't quite understand everyone, like who everyone was and if they knew each other, so I found the storytelling a little challenging to follow. That being said, I loved the science fiction stuff. I loved the aliens. I loved the aliens. They made me so happy. Like, I was just like, I got into the movie very quickly. I was like, yeah, alright, here we go. Like, this is awesome. There's just something so crazy about them. But it's actually, ironically, if I had seen this movie when I was a kid, they would have scared the crap out of me. And they're not very scary, although the people are definitely scared of them. So it's weird. Like, there's this weird thing about this one that it actually sort of branches off into horror, because there's a lot of reactionary horror. Now, that kind of puts it in the place of feeling like it's kind of like it made me start thinking about message movies, because there's definitely an element of that in this film, although it's not sort of like hit you over the head, but it's sort of more like social reaction. And like message commentary, social commentary, like sort of in that land. Yes, I got that from Warning from Space. Like, I did. I can't help it. I did. That's what I got. You know, other than the fact that the aliens were awesome and I loved sort of the styling and the costuming and the kitschy effects and all that stuff. That was just, for me, spot on. Really enjoyed it. But I did have a hard time with the storytelling. And I don't know whether that was partly lost in translation. It's a Japanese film. It's dubbed in English. They do some weird things that, like, you know, like, I don't, like, especially because it's set in Tokyo, I don't think anyone watching this would think that they're not Japanese people, you know, because they did things like show newspaper headings and, like, in English. I don't know. I don't think the Tokyo Times is in English. I don't know. Stuff like that's weird, but whatever. Like, you know, like, I always prefer to see the original version of any film with subtitles. I read quickly, so it's not an issue, and I like hearing different languages because there's something different in the annotation and the delivery of the dialogue. And sometimes you don't understand it because it's a cultural thing, but that's okay. You don't understand everything. Nobody understands everything. That's all part of learning. That's all part of life. Anyway, but this isn't so much a Japanese cultural exchange movie. Maybe it is. There's definitely lots in there that I think is commentary, especially of the time. You know, I definitely think there's elements in that there. But from a science fiction, you know, perspective, I thought it was a lot of fun. It had, you know, scientists, it had aliens, it had, you know, really bad effects. Like, it was good, but there were definitely some horror elements, not scary, but just, you know, like, you know, reactionary, and some message in there too. Anyway, so Warning from Space, I enjoyed it. It did take me a couple times to get through it. It's been a tough week. So that's more on me than the film. It was longer, actually, though. It ran just under an hour and 30 minutes, and a lot of these films have more been in the 110, 115 range. So, you know, that's actually impressive. Because so, like, if it was on TV, it would be 2 hours. So, but, you know, no, I sprung the $10 and get to see all 50 films. Yay! Without commercials. I don't even know how often these play on TV. I know a lot of people have seen seen a lot of them on TV. Definitely, The Wolf of the Moon was a TV movie, and the Gamera film was definitely one that aired on TV and people remember fondly from. So, okay, so that takes us to picking for next week. I feel like I'm missing something. I put away my notes. This is my second time recording this. I tried to record it on another computer, which was, sadly, it was like, you know, half of a dozen is 6 and you end up with nothing. There's a phrase that would make sense there. That's not what I said. The video was a lot better quality, but the sound quality was ridiculous. And the sound quality is only okay, so I'm working to find a way to make that better, but one failed attempt. But no, it's movie selection. Okay, so this is actually, it'll be really funny because I picked another one on the video that didn't work, and I thought, well, I can't not pick the movie, so it'd be really funny if I get the same movie. Let's see what it's going to be. So I put it back in the hat. It's like, should I try and get something near the top? What should I do? Alright, let's, whoa, one ran away from me. Oh, this actually feels like it might be it. Wouldn't that be funny? Is it? Oh, it's not. I can't read it. I'm in the worry. Voyage to the Planet of the Prehistoric Women. Wow. Although, ironically, this brings up a point I brought up in the vlog that you won't see because the sound is so horrid you actually won't be able to hear me, is that I don't know if this one is a sequel. There's a couple series-ish type ones. I noticed it when I did the Buck Rogers film. There's another prehistoric, because there's the Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet, which came out in '65, and then this one, Voyage to the Planet of the Prehistoric Women, in '68. Those are probably different planets, right? Probably just capitalizing on the prehistoric planet idea. Anyway, I thought about maybe looking at the different films, seeing if any of them are series, and then always starting with the first one in the sequence. But you know what? I don't think it really matters. I think if in 1968 you went to Voyage of the Planet of the Prehistoric Women before seeing any possible films that came before it, you'd probably be fine. And I think now, I'm doing math, 45 years later, I can probably cope with that. Alright, that's it. Warning from space. Last time. Thanks so much for watching.